All right. Hi, I'm Dr. Ben Newman, and let's continue Angela's question, shall we? Shall we? I keep sliding over because the sun keeps rising up, so I'm a little sundial. Yeah, I'm a little teapot, is something like that. I'm a little sundial, I guess, would be something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm trying to hide in the shade over here so we don't overwhelm the image. All right. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Okay. All right. So, rest of Angela's questions. So, we were talking about the New Mutant, which includes N501Y, but has a whole bunch of other changes up and down it. A couple in Open Reading Frame 1A. Um, I think there's, what is it, two changes and a deletion maybe up there, very small deletion, and a whole bunch of changes around the nucleoprotein and in the little open reading frames between the M gene and the N gene that probably don't make a lot of difference in humans. One of those even looks like it's broken, so that's probably a good thing. Yeah, less pathogenic would be the idea. So here we go. Surely, although this virus is found in the UK, it must be present in other countries as our borders are still open. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So why are we doing all this crazy travel ban on the UK, even though it's already definitely in South Africa and almost certainly, yeah, actually no, each of the little parts of this has been found in several other countries. Um, I don't know. It's one of those, yes, like when you tap your knee and it makes that little jerking reflex. It's kind of like that, I would say. Um, I don't know why any travel is allowed without quarantine at the moment, given how much COVID there is in the world. I was always of the opinion that, yeah, you can travel, but the quarantine needs to be part of that. Quarantine and testing, not just quarantine. It's not just like lock you in a box. Yeah. Yeah, that is like a reasonable way, scientifically sound, to do a thing when the thing needs to be done. Because yeah, there are people with families in different countries, and yeah, business reasons, all kinds of reasons that you would need to go to places, and yeah, it's less convenient for sure, more expensive for sure, but it's a way to do a thing at a time when otherwise it would be really dangerous and stupid to do that thing. Yeah. So that's my piping hot take on that. Let's see. Do we know about it because of our genomic sequencing methods? Yes, that is the only way that we know about this thing. It's just been popping up in a lot of the recent sequences in London. The thing is, it is hard to tell the difference between a founder effect and a legitimate widely spreading virus. If you were to hold one or two super spreader events and get a bunch of people infected, you can only pass on the virus you have. So if this virus is just a regular version of the virus, which it still may well be, and it just happened to have, for some reason, more access to other people, then that's the one that those people are going to get. It's the one that they are going to spread. And it's the same reason that Facebook is so big, and Amazon and Google. Yeah, essentially, first one to market with a good product will tend to dominate that market. It's the founder effect. It applies in, I think, economics, although yeah, clearly not an economics guy. Definitely applies in genetics. Yeah, and so I'm still waiting and watching. When the papers come out where they look at the effects of the mutation and the rate of binding to the spike, between the spike and the cell, that will, I think, tell us maybe a little more about what's going on and how this might work. But the whole process is so complicated, and the spike has to do so many things. It has to be really stable and solid and not move at all while it's going through the air and while it's just, in a respiratory tract before it runs into the cell. When it's near a cell, it needs to be super loosey-goosey, and it needs to be able to open up and grab onto a thing and trick the cell into pulling it inside, and then it has to uncoat itself, basically, sort of escape from the little bubble that it's in. And it is hard to be good at everything. Generally, yeah, it's like the world's strongest person also being the best at speed reading or something like that. Could happen, but you got two giant coincidences, and probably they don't line up. Yeah, I would say. Yeah. Okay. Um, Question goes on. Let's see. Although I am now in tier 4, sort of like an incomplete lockdown. Yep. Will it not spread to the rest of the UK? Yes. Almost certainly, and I believe it already is. And yeah, there's not a ton that can be done about that other than complete lockdown for everybody, and people are not good at complete lockdown. There's always somebody who has a very good reason why they have to not be doing that and need to be whatever. Yeah, not in the house anymore. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The walls close in on us all at times, and so I understand that. Let's see. I think the most important yet worrying question: will this result in adverse effects on the efficacy of the vaccine? Probably not. And so here again, the trials that are going on right now, or have just finished right now, have all been done with, so all the vaccines are based on the original version of the virus from late December last year, 2019. Yeah. Can you believe it's COVID 19? It should totally be COVID 2020. Yeah, but oh well. That would go together better, I think, just, conceptually. Let's see. But the vaccine trials are still working, and they're still showing effects, and those are being done against the virus that is circulating right now. This virus has been circulating in the UK since September. We just started noticing it fairly recently, and it takes a while for sequence results to actually get made and then uploaded to databases, and then for people to notice them and notice enough of them that are in there. And so, yeah, this the vaccine does appear to be protecting against either this strain or the immediate strains that come before this strain, like this strain minus one mutation or something like that. So, yeah, I am pretty confident that the viruses are all still close enough that it's not going to be a big thing. Okay. And last question. Yeah, all right, fine. What should be the resulting action about schools if it really is showing a 70% increase in transmission? Yeah. Professor Wendy Barkley was talking about this the other day. The speculation is that this one may be causing enough symptoms to be noticed in children more. I still am of the opinion that the virus was probably unable to tell a child from an adult, and children probably had, given the same exposure, probably had about the same infection rate. It's just that if they were able to deal with it more quickly and efficiently, it might not show up as a positive test. Yeah, they just sort of get over it faster before they come up positive. That's my suspicion. Yeah, anyway. The transmission rate is up by R is increased by 0.4, or which equates to about a 70% increase in transmission, according to the European CDC. And but the question is that due to the holiday season and people getting together more and going out and doing their last minute Christmas shopping in person and cramming in the last bits of in-person school? Is it due to essentially what people are doing, or is it due to something new about the virus? And I don't know. I think the jury's still out on that. I would suspect that there's probably something a little bit better about this virus. It's probably a little better at clamping down on receptors. That's my guess, but there is no science behind that at the moment. There's some theoretical papers, but I want to see the real wet lab stuff. It can be done. It is almost certainly in progress. It just hasn't. It takes a while to do the experiment and then write the paper and then run the paper through peer review and then publish the paper. Yeah, and that's the point at which it becomes part of the scientific record. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, yeah, it's a lot, but they were all good questions. Yeah, I don't know. I could have probably broken that up into 4 or 5 parts. Yeah, I hope you stay safe there in Tier 4 lockdown. It doesn't sound particularly pleasant. But yeah, wish you all the best. And yeah, thanks very much for writing in. All right, this has been Ask Dr. Ben.